Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. Previously, Phoenix cross-examined the witness's pet parrot for the second time in his life. And with that newfound evidence, he was able to prove some serious things. That one of the gemstones in the Telea Magica involved in this case was a fake, or at very least misleading, and that the real murder was pulled off using a gemstone that was green in color and allowed for a portal to be opened between 2 points in space. And now, Phoenix has called forth Jean Grey Earl, who is by appearances a man, and accused them of being a witch, so things are really heating up. Let's get back into it. Alright, there was like a little break, a little recess. That's right. So it's got to be that, young butler? I know what you're thinking. I couldn't quite believe it at first, either. Wait, can we talk a little about how they took Layton's statue out of the room? Like, I know it's a recess and everyone's supposed to leave, but do they really have to cart the statue out? It's just a statue at this point. But the evidence and circumstances all point to the butler. He or she has to be the witch. At least, it'll be certain if the magic gem turns out to be a fake. But if that's the case, then Belduke's murderer was also... Yeah, it would be Grey Earl. No, it can't be true. He wouldn't have done that. Espella? I know Jean. He held Sir Belduke in the greatest of respect. Jean didn't kill him, I'm sure of it. Jean Grey Earl, are you really what people think you are? There are still so many unknown factors in this trial. Oh. It's Luke. It's Luke. I'm sorry, Maya. What I did is unforgivable. What are you saying, Luke? All you did was testify about what you saw. But I should have trusted you. Well, you trust us now, right? Maya. Anyway, Luke, it was thanks to you that we discovered new information. Thanks to me? Sure, you got Cracker to testify. That was a great idea. I wish I could talk to animals. Don't you too, Espella? Oh yes, I'd love to have a chat with Eve. So, Luke, will you teach us how to do it, pretty please? Yeah, of course I can try. It can be taught? Yay, that's a promise, right? Mr. Wright? What is it, Luke? Do you mind if I join you from now on? Not at all, Luke. I realized during the trial that in this strange town, even what you see with your own eyes may not be real. That's why I'm not giving up yet. Professor, I know he'll return. We can't give up hope. You know, that's what I've been thinking too. Really? I have a feeling he'll reappear again when we get into trouble and help us out. Because, I mean, it's the professor we're talking about here. Right. And remember what he always says. Look forward to the future. Always look on the bright side. I don't think it was the professor who said that. Defender, accused. The intermission's over. Return to the courtroom. Back into the cage with you, Maya. Let's go. It's time to bring this trial to a close. Oh, I have something for you, Mr. Wright. Here, please take it. Maybe it'll come in handy in the trial. Ah, the invisible ink letters. A letter, huh? Let's see who it's from. Wait, Newton Belduke? There are several sheets of parchment inside, but they're all blank. The professor and I got this when we went to see the storyteller. Thank you, Luke. The more info we have, the better. You're welcome. I very much look forward to seeing what is written on them. I've got no proof that it was Jean Grey Earl who turned the professor into gold. Even if the magic gem is a fake, it's still not decisive evidence. I don't know— Wait a second. I was just thinking, in my head while I was reading this out, I was thinking, man, invisible ink is so cool. Can't you, make your own homemade invisible ink with, lemon juice? And then I realized, the alchemist's house, wasn't there a grove right outside? A little bit of growing plants? I think there was yellow fruit growing there. I think. Maybe it really was just written in lemon juice. Okay, I may have just connected a dot accidentally by happenstance. I don't know what will happen next, but I do know this battle's far from over. We will now resume the trial of Maya Fey. First things first, the occult crime analysts have finished examining the evidence. They have tested the 2 magic gems from the witch's scepter. Goldor floated on the surface of the water, whereas Famalia sank. Good, it's just as Phoenix hoped. It was said that genuine magic gems float in pure water, wasn't it? Thus, it has been established that the Famalia magic gem is a fake. Order, order, order in court. This does not prove that Godor was used, of course. Nonetheless, the defense's theory does now seem more plausible. The court considers it worth looking into. You have no objection to that, do you, Inquisitor Barnum? No, my lord. Now then, bring in the witness. Witness, state your name and profession. My name is Jean Grey Earl. I served the late Master Belduke. Since his death, I have been tending to his drilling and putting his research materials in order. I don't know what it is, but I feel like there's something a bit different about Grey Earl today. Yeah, no gemstone on the neck. Witness, there is something we need to clarify first of all. As you are no doubt aware, you have been accused of being a witch. Therefore, it is vital that you tell us, are you a boy or a girl? Please hold on. Why? What is it? Excuse my rudeness, my lord, but at this time, I do not intend to answer that question. Yeah, I was kind of wondering about this. There's a really rude and invasive way to check and make sure, but, if you just rely on Grey Earl to just say what is most favorable to them, Well, you can't be sure, can you? It's a bit awkward. I do not intend to answer that question. Why do you refuse to answer, witness? I had been following this child from the gallery, and so am fully aware of the utterly absurd accusations made against me. Alchemy, the art pursued by Master Belduc, is concerned with the rules and logic that govern nature. As someone who had been helping Master Belduc for quite some time, I dare say your theory is both illogical and impossible.
Objection!
The witch's scepter was thrown into the crime scene through a portal created by the magical spell Godor. That portal could only have been opened from your room. And what's more, one of the walls in your room is painted green. I believe anyone is free to paint their walls in whichever color they please. Besides, your theory relies on one magic gem being a fake. While that may have been proven true, another question has arisen. Where could the genuine magic gem be? It must have been swapped with the fake one and discarded somewhere. I'm afraid that's impossible. Why? If we assume, as you have claimed, that the witch used the spell Godor, that would mean the magic gem must have been swapped after creating the portal. So tell me, when and where would the witch have disposed of the magic gem? I see your point. Several people paid witness to the incident, and the Knights of the Inquisition arrived at the scene immediately after. During that time, no one left the building and the whole place was meticulously searched. Naturally, my room was searched as well, although there was not much to see, as I have few personal belongings. Despite our inspection, nothing resembling a magic gem was found. I assure you we have not overlooked anything. I would swear it on my honor as a knight. So, Mr. Wright, if you wish to accuse me of being a witch, should you not first prove that there is a connection between me and this missing magic gem? Furthermore, I would appreciate it if you could please approach the matter in a rational way, like an alchemist. The house was searched very soon after the crime. If the gem wasn't found, then it means Grey Earl hid it somewhere. Somewhere the Knights of the Inquisition would not have looked. Where could it be? The witness has made a valid argument. How will the defense respond? The knights who searched Sir Belduc's premises weren't looking for a magic gem. That's why there is a certain place they didn't consider searching. Interesting. You really don't give up easily, do you? In that case, perhaps you could tell us all where the magic gem is. I was gonna say, I'm not sure they looked at people. Looked at the surroundings, the environment, the terrain, but did they investigate the people? Is the gem on Jean's body right now? Eliminate the impossible, and whatever remains must be the case. Sir Belduc's premises were thoroughly searched. I don't think anything would have been missed there. You anticipated that, and that's why you hid it in a blind spot that you knew wouldn't occur to the knights. A blind spot, you say? Well, where is it? It's somewhere on Jean Grey Earl's person. What? It's on the witness? This all hinges on Jean being dumb enough not to, move the gem again before they walked into this courtroom, but... Don't tell me the witness has it in their pocket. You're just guessing, aren't you? You think you can just say anything you like. By the way, I'm afraid there are no pockets in my clothing. This is the second time I've seen Grey Earl today. And both times I've had a feeling that something wasn't quite right. Ugh. Oh man, why is my mind like this? For some reason, all I can think about is that one bit in Dragon Ball, like early Dragon Ball, back when Goku was still like a little kid. There was a scene where Goku, Kuririn, and Bulma all went undersea to an underwater cave in search of treasure, or a Red Ribbon Army base, and they found treasure but had to leave before the cave collapsed. And when they're on the beach, just as Kuririn was like, "Ah, darn it, we didn't get any treasure," Bulma reached into her pants and pulled out a big honkin' gemstone that was stored in the pocket only ladies have. That's the only thing I can think of. Oh no! No, I'm sure they're not doing that here, but come on. Maybe it's just me, but it could be related to the whereabouts of the magic gem. Defense, show us the location of the magic gem. Where do you think this witness hid the magic gem on the day of the crime? Yeah, I think they just turned it invisible. Clearly they hid it in this candelabra. No, it's on their neck.
Got it!
Witness. We met for the first time at Sir Belduc's premises. At that time, you had an amethyst attached to your collar. Oh, that's right. Mr. Grey Earl always wears that gemstone. Alchemists believe that amethysts emit positive energy. Amethysts are purple. But when I saw you in the waiting room this morning, the gemstone you were wearing was green, not purple. So my question now is, where has it gone? Where is that amethyst that you supposedly always wear?
Objection!
Wait just a minute. The witness wears a purple gemstone? Is something amiss, Inquisitor Barnum? When we arrived at the crime scene, the witness came out to meet us. I recall the witness wearing a gemstone, but that gemstone was green. Green? Amethysts aren't green, although amateurs sometimes mistake preciolite for amethyst, but that's irrelevant for now. The judge has a weirdly comprehensive knowledge of gemstones. He also was able to identify ones that could naturally float, that weren't witches' gems. Good on you, Judge. Witness, You've been trying to pin the blame on the defendant. In order to do that, you replaced the Godor magic gem with a regular gemstone. We thought the witch who killed Sir Belduc had used the spell Familia. You knew that if a witch's scepter with the Familia and Goldor magic gems attached was discovered at the crime scene, the suspect would be accused of committing both crimes, and that's precisely what happened. The girl captured at the crime scene was accused of slaying both Sir Belduc and Sir Layton. That was your plan. You removed the Godor magic stone from the scepter and inserted your amethyst in its place. And then, you attached the Godor gem to your collar. That's why, when we saw you shortly after the incident, you were wearing a green gemstone. To think that was in fact a magic gem. Wow. Wow, Barnum is actually believing this. Though it bothers me that Jean's expression is still content.
Order! Witness, is that true?
Jean has yet to be shaken in any way. That's kind of alarming.
This amounts to nothing more than conjecture. I do not believe you have any solid proof. However, I have to concede that you have surmised a logical connection between me and the missing magic gem. Consequently, I am prepared to answer your questions.
Good. I will repeat what I asked you previously. Witness, state your name, profession, and finally, your gender.
My name is Jean Grail. I have been serving the late Master Belduc. As you can see, I wear a butler's outfit, but the truth is, as the defense claims, I am a girl.
Hey!
A girl? Unbelievable.
They didn't really have to go the extra mile of, hiding her hair like that, but okay.
What? The butler is a girl?
Order in the court. Jean Greyearl, are you declaring to this court that you are, in fact, female? Yes. But everyone in town was under the impression that you are a boy. Huh? Did you hear that? The butler's a girl. Doesn't that make him or her a maid? I knew there was something suspicious about him. I mean her. You know why, right? Think about it. All that alchemy, that's mighty suspicious. Just listen to them. Listen to the wild gossip and accusations. Alchemists pursue knowledge of the rules that govern nature. But to the townspeople, alchemy is no different to magic. Had they known I was a girl, they would have taken me for a witch. That's what Master Belduc was worried about. He told me it would be safer to pretend to be a boy. In other words, you disclose that you're a female, but deny that you're a witch. I would have thought that was obvious. She knew that once her gender came into question, she wouldn't have been able to conceal it. That's why she's made this public now. It was the most rational choice for her. Inquisitor Barnum, may I ask you one question? Has all the evidence in this Golden Gentleman case already been presented? Why do you ask? As it stands, you do not have a single piece of evidence proving that I am a witch. given the lack of pertinent evidence against me, I would like to be permitted to return to my duties. Okay, it's time to throw a Hail Mary and bet everything on the letter. What say you, Inquisitor Barnum? It has been proven that the two gems were swapped. However, it may also have been possible for the accused to have done so.
Objection!
Maya had no reason to swap the gems. This is a place of judgment. There is no need for us to understand the reasons behind a criminal's actions. Huh? After all, those whom we judge are otherworldly creatures. They are witches. It is impossible for a human being to understand the reasoning of a witch. Wow. Is there nothing we can do? At this rate, Maya will be... Barnum still thinks Maya is a witch. We've made it this far, and yet it feels like we're back at stage 1. It seems there are no more rational arguments against me. Now, if you will kindly excuse me. I don't have much on Grey Earl when it comes to the professor's case. Should I just let her go? Ask about another case. Well, if we wait and see what happens, then Grail will go away and Maya will be lowered into the flames. Bad end. If we continue questioning, well, no, we've run into a dead end. We have nothing left, nothing concrete. But there's the other case. The death of Belduke. This is something that we haven't touched upon yet. There's potential here. There's nothing else I can follow up on regarding the professor's case. So what can I do? There's only one other option. Miss Grey Earl, I have to ask you to remain at the witness stand. Is there something else you wish to ask me? Your testimony is not over yet. There's still something you need to tell us about. Mr. Wright, I'm afraid I cannot help you. I have told you all I could about this incident. And I'm afraid you've got the wrong idea, Miss Grey Earl. Your Honor, what this witness needs to testify about is not the professor's unfortunate incident, but rather the incident from 3 months ago, namely Sir Belduke's death. As she was present in the building at the time, working as a live-in butler, she needs to testify about the events of that day. About Sir Belduke's death? The fact that one of the magic gems was swapped leads me to a single conclusion. Both crimes, the murder of Sir Belduke and the transmutation of the professor, were the work of the same witch. The truth behind the alchemist's death may also hold the answer to this case. What is your opinion on this, Inquisitor Barnum? I'll allow you to have your way this time, Sir Blue Knight. The Inquisition has no objections. Inquisitor Zacharias Barnum, it seems you have lost that unyielding attitude so admired by the townspeople. Here you are now, letting a novice defender lead you by the nose. It is hard to believe you have been known as the unwavering sword of justice for your usually cool-headed judgment. You know little about me, witness. Do you think I care about defending my name? It is this town that I wish to defend. Good reply. Sir Belduke's murder is the only case to have remained unsolved for so long. Jean Grey Earl, you shall now testify about it. I just realized the pommel of his sword is shaped like a gem. That's what that looks like. Interesting. As demanded by both the defense and Inquisition, the witness will testify about Sir Belduke's death. Any questions? No, my lord. I must, however, mention one more thing before we begin. If it cannot be proven that Jean Grey Earl is a witch, as claimed by the defense, the court will irrevocably consider Maya Fey to be the witch responsible for both crimes. Is that understood? You have no choice, Sir Blue Knight. If you don't want the trial to end right now, ready your sword and face the challenge that awaits. But the opponent is a real witch. It's a gamble that puts Maya's life at stake.
Nick? Nick?
Maya?
No witch is gonna outwit you in court. You're an ace attorney after all.
Damn straight?
So, let's do it.
Yeah. The defense accepts the conditions. Let's proceed with the trial. Well, I can't help but notice Barnum had nothing to say about Maya actually speaking then. Oh well, maybe he allowed it because it's hype. Inquisitor Barnum, you may begin. We shall start with a brief summary of the incident. About 3 months ago, in the dead of night, Sir Belduke, the alchemist, was murdered. The crime took place in his study, just as with this incident. The room had been locked from the inside. The victim was found still seated in the chair at his desk, so we can assume he was attacked while working. There were very clear strangulation marks visible on his neck. Oh. There is something trickling down from his mouth. Is that blood? Yes, most likely. Most likely? Most likely? Okay, that settles it. I was right, he was force-fed a potion. The victim probably bit his tongue as he was struggling with his assailant. Probably! And you said earlier that some white powder was spilled all over the floor, correct? Yes. Hence, we expected to find the killer's footprints. However, there were none. The killer must have somehow approached the victim without stepping on the floor. After murdering Sir Belduke, the killer left the room without opening the door. Undoubtedly, the crime must have been committed with the use of witchcraft. The body was discovered the following morning by the butler, Miss Grey Earl. The body was found by Grey Earl, huh? Thank you, Inquisitor Barnum. The court illustrator's sketches will be added to the evidence. 3 sketches, eh? Now, witness, begin your testimony. Tell us about the events spanning the night of the crime, from the evening beforehand until you discovered the body.
At around 1 o'clock at night, I excused myself and left Master Belduke in his study.
Whoa, that's a late nighter.
When I called him for breakfast in the morning, he did not respond. The door to his study was locked. A neighbor had come for a visit just then, so we forced the door open together. All the potions and other concoctions from the study have been confiscated. I wonder if they're being properly stored.
Potions and concoctions were confiscated. The victim was an alchemist, after all. We were hoping the items confiscated from his study could provide some clues. Besides, such things must not fall into the wrong hands. It may not be standard practice, but it was deemed necessary. The confiscated goods are stored in our secret vault. The only person with access to them is the High Inquisitor, Lady Darklaw.
It has caused me great difficulty, as I have not been able to put Master's research materials in order as a result.
The confiscated items shall be returned as soon as Sir Belduke's murder is resolved.
I shall be looking forward to that.
Defense, you may begin the interrogation.
At around 1 o'clock at night, I excused myself and left Master Belduke in his study.
Hold it!
So you last saw him alive at 1 a.m., is that correct?
Yes. Master had a habit of conducting his experiments at night, so it was the usual time for me to finish my work.
Weren't you helping him with those experiments?
He would sometimes have some errands for me, but alchemists generally keep their experiments a secret. That's why I would always excuse myself at that time, unless Master had some other tasks for me.
And that night there was no more work for you.
That's correct. I wished Master a good night as I shut the door behind me, and then heard him lock the key. There was nothing unusual about him, at least nothing I noticed. When I called him for breakfast in the morning, he did not respond. The door to his study was locked.
Hold it!
And what time was that?
Master would always take his breakfast at 9 a.m., so it was around that time.
So you didn't have the key to Sir Belduke's study, is that correct?
Yes, there is only one key to that room, and Master always kept it with him. Master's research was a very delicate matter, you see. We had to take strict measures to prevent outsiders from entering that room. Occasionally, delinquents would try to make off with one or other of Master's medicaments.
Thieves stealing from an alchemist? I can't tell if that's incredibly brave or incredibly stupid. Probably the latter.
That's why the door to that room is made from thick oak wood. I wouldn't have been able to force the door open on my own.
She couldn't have entered the room before that, then.
A neighbor had come for a visit just then, so we forced the door open together.
Hold it!
Wait, you mean you broke the door? The only key to that room was in Sir Belduke's pocket. The only way to enter the study was to break the door open. And you managed that with the help of a neighbor who came to visit.
Yes, It wasn't a social visit, mind. He came as a patient. A patient? Can you tell me more about him?
Objection!
The victim's neighbor is irrelevant. He has nothing to do with this case. I think you're pushing it this time. A witness is hardly irrelevant. What's got him so... It was him. It's him. Ooh. Maybe he has a really embarrassing ailment. What's got him so shaken? It looks as if he just had a rush of blood to the head.
Master Belduke had been making very potent medicines, among other things. We would get people coming from the town at all hours of the day or night asking for them. And yet, in return for all the help Master offered, people would gossip about him, dabbling in witchcraft.
So you broke the door together with a neighbor?
Yes, when I explained the situation to him, he brought over an axe. Then he proceeded to attack the door with great force, smashing it into splinters.
I didn't notice anything like that when we looked at the house earlier. Maybe they just replaced the door? I see. By the way, about that neighbor. Who was... Yo! Oh, he Anky!
It's time for Emir's grand entrance.
Oh no, that was...
Did you miss me, guys?
Is it just me, or does he have a pearl necklace and a belt and a medal? He went and got more... Oh my god, this man! He's wearing the Infinity Gauntlet? Ugh!
Order! Order! Could it be that it was you who... Where are you looking, old man? I'm right here! And as for who I am...
When did Birdley show up?
I'm the alchemist's neighbor, and a witness in that case, too!
This motherfucker. He didn't get voice acting? Passion for justice seething within, Emir is always at the crime scene. That didn't even come close to rhyming.
Objection!
It's you, again. You're the guy from earlier, right?
Yep, that's me. Emir's the name. How've you been, Bluey?
You really the alchemist's neighbor? Seriously?
I know, right? Freaky coincidence, eh? But yeah, his house next to mine.
Ridiculed earlier, Emir returns. Drinking like a king he never ever learns. Okay, that was good. That's why I tried to stop you from asking about the neighbor. I like my theory that it was Burnham. Barnum.
Why so cold, Inquisitor Barnum?
Unable to hold his steady cold gaze, Emir drinks fast as if in a daze. And the musician standing next to you.
Yeah, that's me private bard, Birdley. A right musical genius.
Hold on. Oh, dearie me.
Oh, dearie me.
Well, no use shutting the stable door after the horse has bolted. Let us move on. Witness, since you are already here, you may as well add your testimony. Testify about what you witnessed on the morning after the crime. You can count on me. This guy. It dawned on me then, the witch cast Famalia just like in this case.
Hold it!
Can you tell me what caused that sudden realization?
Sure thing. When the Inquisitors came around, I went to have a little peek at the crime scene. That's when I heard them talking about it. I was surprised, because they must have come to the same conclusion as me. Cracky, they can do their job, then Inquisitors, I thought. It had to be Famalia.
So he was eavesdropping.
If I happen to see that Famalia user, I'll arrest him myself.
Witness, you are testifying in court. Can you not restrain yourself a bit?
What is that? Don't you see I gotta have this to keep me spirits up? It's the most potent medicine.
It is a drink Amir lives to savor with an intoxicating scent and flavor. Anyway, this is a waste of time. Should we be looking for decisive contradictions?
Witnesses, continue your testimonies.
All the potions and other concoctions from the study have been confiscated. I wonder if they're being properly stored. That's all they have to say, huh? I really didn't expect him to appear. Maybe I should be used to it by now. Excuse me, Mr. Wright. Sorry to interrupt your train of thought. Huh? Oh, that's okay. What is it? I'm wondering if it's just me, but I've been thinking about Mr. Amir's testimony. I think what he said is a little strange, isn't it? Yeah, how can I put it? It's pretty obviously contradictory. He was so keen to testify, maybe we should give him some attention and point those contradictions out. What a good idea, Luke. Yeah, here we go. I wanted to see that loop text first. So, that drink, the intoxicating, toxic drink that Amir's drinking, it's one of Belduke's potions.
Hold it!
Those items were confiscated 3 months ago. You still haven't got them back. No, not a single thing. Even though many of those were personal items with no relevance to the crime. Now that I think about it, that room did look pretty empty. As I said, the victim was an alchemist, and among his possessions were some very dangerous concoctions. But he did produce medicines to aid sick townspeople as well, to give him his due. Indeed, alchemy is highly beneficial to the townspeople, even if they fail to notice it. It may be beneficial, but it also inspires fear. People fear what they do not understand. At any rate, I cannot return the items to you until Sir Belduke's case is solved. That is what High Inquisitor Darklaw has decided. And the confiscated goods are being kept in a secret vault by the Knights of the Inquisition? Even the Inquisitors cannot freely enter that vault. It is strictly supervised. That's all they have to say, huh? I really didn't expect him to appear, but...
Well, I thought for sure Emir would pipe up and be like, oh crap. So there's a contradiction in what Emir says here then. Well, the witch cast Familia just like in this case, but the witch did not cast Familia in this case. The gemstone was fake.
Objection!
There's something you don't seem to understand here, Mr. Emir. The Familia gem in this witch's scepter is a fake. The gem is useless. Just like this buffoon's testimony.
What?
Therefore, your testimony doesn't hold water. Just like anything else he says. Fish.
Whoa, what?
Ignored and scorned without credibility, will majestic Emir now show humility?
What? A fake?
You should have listened to the trial more carefully.
Now that has been dealt with, Inquisitor Barnum. This witch's scepter was not discovered at the crime scene when Sir Belduke was murdered, is that correct?
Indeed. We deduced that Familia must have been used, however.
Objection!
But that Familia magic gem was a fake. That much has been demonstrated today. What's more, as we've learned from Cracker the Parrot's testimony, the witch used the spell Godor. The fact that there is a green wall at the crime scene corroborates that.
Objection!
That wall may well not have been painted green 3 months ago. And besides, no one could have passed through a portal so small.
To be honest, I've started wondering, were Sir Layton's and Sir Belduke's murders actually committed by the same witch?
Objection!
Your Honor, I'd like to remind you that was the Inquisition's claim. He's right, though. It's got to be the same culprit in both cases. And at the very least, it's possible that the witch used the spell Godor to commit Sir Belduke's murder.
What? In that case, I will ask the defense to show us proof. Do you have proof that the witch could have used Godor to kill Sir Belduke?
Yeah, actually. Let me look at the floor plan. Yeah. I mean, it's a bit of a stretch, literally, but it was established that all that could fit through was like a hand, an arm. If the assailant reached through the portal and reached for Belduke, who was sitting in his chair, they could grab around his throat. I really do find it very difficult to believe, though, that a small body type woman who didn't have any leverage whatsoever managed to choke a man to death while he was in good health, and I feel like it would just be so easy for him to use his own body weight to like fall to the ground and like rip himself out of the grip, you know? And like it could like claw at the fingers. It's like I just don't understand why Belduke died. If it is true that someone reached through the portal and strangled him from behind. It's just very implausible to me. I mean, setting aside the whole magic portal thing. But... The question is... Let me look at the images. Like, shoot, man, I don't think Jean's arms are even that long to reach. There's also the matter of why the painting didn't fall to the ground. I think I'm gonna use a hint coin here. This is tough. I'm not sure what the game wants from me here. Oh, great. It's the crime scene sketch and the floor plan. Well, I think the Layton statue and the case outline are both irrelevant. It really does come down to the floor plan or the crime scene sketches. Now, do I say the floor plan to go, hey, yeah, look, they could have reached directly behind him and strangled him? Or do I use the crime scene sketch to see, hey, yeah, he was strangled? You know, I think the floor plan has the stronger case, but we have used the floor plan as proof a lot before. And we haven't used the crime scene sketches yet. This feels like a 50-50. Well, no use just sitting around here. Let's give it a shot. Or floor plan.
Take that!
This evidence is meaningless.
Just like your very existence, you could say.
Huh? You're all talk. Your assertion is worthless.
Just like my very existence, you could say.
What? Here's proof, said Sir Knight in Blue, but his argument's been proven untrue.
Being publicly ridiculed and treated like dirt, now you know how it feels too, eh?
The carrots! The culprit conjured up a small magic portal in that room, and made use of it to carry out the crime. I'm sure it was possible, and there's evidence that makes it blatantly obvious. Mr. Wright, let's think again about the circumstances of the crime scene and then give it another go. I lost the 50-50.
Take that!
I'd like you to take a look at these.
Aren't those the court illustrator's sketches?
As you can see from this sketch, the victim was seated at his desk when he was murdered. And what can you see right behind the victim? A small landscape painting. Thank you, Inquisitor, but there's one more point of note. Look closely at the painting. Do you notice anything behind it?
Oh, I see it. The wall behind it had already been painted green. Which means the witch could have used the portal spell there 3 months ago.
Objection!
One moment, my lord. Consider how small that portal would have been. Could a witch have passed through it? I think not.
Objection!
Of course, the witch would not be able to go right through it. However,
if you look at the distance between the portal and the victim, you'll notice that the victim, Sir Belduke, was sitting just an arm's length from where the portal would have been. The witch did not have to enter the room at all. All she had to do was reach through with her arms in order to strangle Sir Belduke, who was sitting right under the painting.
Order? Inquisitor Barnum, what say you to that?
A fascinating theory, Sir Blue Knight. But there is a notable contradiction within it. Where would that be? Tell me, why do you think we concluded that Familia had to have been used? We had a certain reason for it, of course.
And what was that reason exactly?
The crime scene had been tampered with. How so? Imagine the circumstances of Sir Belduke's death, and it should become obvious even to you. The victim was choked to death. And yet there were no signs of a struggle. Highly improbable, don't you think? What are you getting at? Think about it. Can you imagine anyone just sitting back and letting themselves be strangled? Clearly there should be evidence of a struggle. And that's my thought exactly. And since we haven't found any, that must mean the killer erased all traces of a fight from the crime scene. But what if there wasn't a fight? What if the butler, who by all means would probably handle the master's food and drink, what if they just gave him a little sleepy potion? Belduke would sit down in his chair, he would doze off, he would lean back, and then be strangled while unconscious. That's my theory.
Indeed, that would be the logical conclusion.
Now, surely it would be impossible to do any such thing had the witch only reached inside through a portal. In order to cover up the evidence she left behind, the witch had to have used a familiar. Without doing so, there would have been no point in her using the spell Godor.
Objection!
Miss Grey Earl could have done it. She might have been able to tamper with the crime scene. What are you talking about? The morning of the crime, from the time Miss Grey Earl and that guy entered the study, until the arrival of the Knights of the Inquisition, there was a window of time in which she had the opportunity to do so. We need to look into what happened in that window.
It seems we may be in need of another testimony. Witnesses testify about what happened in the time between the body being found and the Knights of the Inquisition arriving. Sure thing, ask me anything, I'll tell you what you need to know.
Oh, glorious Amir, tell us more. Maybe you won't be laughed at as before. Only 2 people accessed the crime scene in that time, Grey Earl and Amir. Believe it or not, Amir is the key witness in this case. What if Amir is teetering not because he's drunk, but because he's beginning to get sleepy? And come to think of it, isn't the drink he's drinking red? A lot like the trickle of liquid coming out of Belduke's mouth? Hey now! Hey now! I think I might have cracked it.
I broke down the door and saw the alchemist slumped in his chair. Gave me a jolt. And the butler hurried to call the Knights of the Inquisition. He never entered the study.
He still thinks the butler's a man?
What did I do then? I was asked to keep an eye on things, so I went in and had a bit of a look at everything. And all that made me pretty drowsy, so I went and took a little nap on the couch.
A nap? Drowsy? Wait, what? Mr. Amir, you said the butler didn't enter the crime scene?
Yep, he never set foot in there. The moment he saw Belduke, he told me to stand guard till the Knights of the Inquisition arrived. And then off he went. What a resourceful apprentice that alchemist has, I thought to myself.
I almost feel sorry for you, Sir Blue Knight. After all, your suspect couldn't have tampered with the crime scene. That can't be true.
Defense, please proceed with the interrogation.
Yes, Your Honor. So, look, Amir tampered with this modern crime scene. He took that arm with no hesitation. I think, left to his own devices, poor as he was, as self-centered as he was, yeah, I think he pilfered a thing or two, including a certain bottle of drink. Yeah, I think I cracked it. I think it's as simple as Jean Grey Earl spiking Belduke's drink with a sleep potion, strangling him while he was unconscious, and, well, yeah. And as it so happens, Amir stole the critical evidence, once again, that will solve all of this. I think he's holding the sleep potion in his hand right now. This piece of work. What an incredible character. I love this man. This beautiful human disaster. Well, sucks that we lost the 50-50. I didn't quite understand what exactly the game wanted from me here. And I lost. I mean, it's just bad luck that it didn't have, like, both the floor plan and the three drawings blocked out. Yeah, they were both available at the same time, so I was just stuck between the two I was considering in the first place. Well, at least we're still in a lot better shape than we were earlier. I think both in the first and second trials, I went out of it with just one little unit of credibility left, so I'm gonna have a nice and tidy bit of picarets for this, if I manage to finish this off without any more failures, but yeah, no, I think I've actually cracked it. It may very well be that next time we'll finish this court case. I think we've actually real close, but you never know. You never know. We'll see what happens. So after this, there's going to be another investigation phase. One desperately looking for proof that can help out Espella, because her big trial is tomorrow. I could see there being, like... I could see that trial being the last one in the game. And then following that would be another, like, more investigation phase with Layton and everyone just looking around and talking to people. And maybe that would be the end of the game? Yeah, it's so interesting. I have no idea how long this game is supposed to be. For a long time I felt like we're maybe halfway, but I don't know. Maybe we're... I just can't get a feel for how long this game is, but I do know for sure that I don't mind it taking a very long time from here because, boy, I'm enjoying every second. I hope you are too. This is good stuff.
Anyway, I'm Zephyr the Jester. This has been more Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. Thank you for watching. Hopefully, I'll catch you next time. So until then, please take care.